we're going to start with what we got. Let's put some more light in here. Okay, so in this group, we are going to go a little bit slower than I do on my TikToks. I'm going to show you a little bit slower what I do, explain everything step by step, and we will have a tutorial where you can have all your supplies beforehand so you can do this with me. And it will be on the page, on the group page, so that if you ever want to go back and see, what did she say? What should I use? How was that? Then you'll be able to, okay? So this will forever be on, well, not forever, but it will be on. All right, so just want, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Claudine. I live near Houston, Texas, right outside of Houston. And I'm married more than 30, it's almost like 35 years, wow. And I have 2 children, a 30-year-old and a 24-year-old. And I used to be a teacher, so that's probably why I like teaching people how to do things. I took a sabbatical and never went back. So now I started my own business. I started doing t-shirts and it moved on to other things. And now I'm like tumblers, and I'm painting with this special technique that I do, which I do on hats, which I also do hats. Eventually, I'm just gonna have to decide, well, am I gonna do hats or am I gonna do tumblers? Or am I gonna do art? And I don't wanna let go of any of that, but the pros say that you must find a niche, and that's where you should work. That's what you should work on. So I need to think about that. And maybe I'll keep something as a hobby and keep something as a job. But the thing is, there's a season for hats, and it's not in the summer. So that's why I've been working on more of the paint thing. Anyway, enough about me. If you have any comments, please write in the comment section. Let me know what you think at the end. If you have any comments during the live, you can do that. Hopefully I see them. So far I'm seeing them. Also, if you see this after the live, you could still comment at that point of the video, and maybe I'm talking about a certain technique or a tool or something. I will know what you're talking about, and I can answer that afterwards. Okay, so something I want to explain about alcohol inks, and many that follow me on TikTok and are with me, they understand now what I mean by it. But I'm going to be repeating myself a lot, which is alcohol inks are like the cats, the felines of all mediums. They do what they want to do, and you're going to have to work with them. They're unpredictable sometimes. Sometimes they do listen and they go where you want them to go, and sometimes they don't. But either way, they make something beautiful and magical. Sometimes when you didn't want the ink to go in that certain spot, it turns out like, wow, that really looks good. And then there's times where you're just like, ugh. That's why I call them the cats. Cats don't listen. Cats do their thing. Sometimes they're even mischievous. But anyway, so something that I have learned also is that the perfect humidity for alcohol inks is between 42 and 43 degrees, percentage, I mean, in humidity. Anything higher, you're going to see crazy things happen. That's when the cat comes out of the inks. The other thing is it shouldn't be too hot in the room. A perfect temp would be 74. Right now I'm at 79. It's hot in Texas, so I don't want to turn on my air right now, but we're going to work with this little heat for now. With all these lights that I have on, I might have to. Okay, let me shine this light a little bit better because it's not shining on me. Okay, another thing, let's see. What's the next thing? Okay, there are different alcohol inks. There are different brands. There are a lot of them. One that you probably have seen the most is probably anything from Tim Holtz or from Pinata. Okay, these are like the go-tos. You'll find these a lot in your Hobby Lobbies and your Michaels and stuff like that. And they're good. They're not bad. But then there's others that I use that are very good. They're a little bit higher quality. And I'll be showing you those. But for now, if you're a beginner, these two are perfect. You don't need to buy expensive inks. We will get to a point where I will ask you to get those inks because I want to show you the difference. And also, you'll see that the flowers that you bloom out of with the air can, they're just totally different, okay? But first, we're going to start with these kind of inks. They're regular inks. If you have regular inks at home, you do not have to buy anything else. If you do not have, then you can go to my Azon list. In fact, I will be putting on my Azon list a separate little list of what you need for the tutorials. At first I was thinking maybe I could pack you the kit and send it to you. But I was thinking, how am I going to pack you these? Because I was thinking of just packing you a little bit, just enough of what you needed just for that project. But I'm afraid of it seeping out during the mail and stuff. So I figured, you know what? Maybe it's best that they get it on Azon list for now. Maybe down the road, I'll figure out a way where I can send you something. Because I do sometimes mix these with other things to get a certain color, to get a certain consistency, or to get, sometimes I add some hairspray to it, alcohol, whatever. So maybe down the line. But for now, when we do tutorials, I will have a separate Azon list. Amazon. I call it Azon because I'm so used to TikTok not wanting for us to use those names. So, but on an Amazon list, okay? All right. So that's about the inks. Now, about the paper or the tiles or whatever you're going to work on. Whatever you work on with inks, it has to be something very smooth, non-porous. That's the best kind of paper or surface that you will use your inks with. And here is a perfect example of the paper. I know it's backward, but it's called Dura-Bright. It's also on my Amazon list and you can find it there. This is the paper, special paper that you can use for alcohol inks. There's also, you can find it in Hobby Lobby and Michaels and stuff. I was gonna say Joann's, and Joann's doesn't exist anymore, but yeah, you can find something that's called Yupo paper, and they sell little small pieces. They're more expensive, so you get more bang for your buck if you get this. I even buy rolls. I have a whole roll thing of this kind of paper, and that is, you get more bang for your buck. You got to pay more up front, but you'll have a lot of paper. All right, so that's paper. This also comes in black, and then later on we'll get to the black paper, but that's for the different kind of the other specialty inks that I use. That you see this, the color shift inks. We'll get to that too, but this is that same kind of paper, only in black. And these are like like little thank you. Whenever somebody buys something, I send them the thank you card. So that's what, this is what it is. Okay. So you can use paper. Now, the other thing that you can use, and I use a lot of, is tile. Just regular, you know, subway tile kind of things. This is a 6x6. I like this one. I also use a 4x4. I do my coasters with that. I have done bigger ones. Let me see if I can reach here. There's all kinds of sizes. Okay, so here is this one. It's a beautiful white, long one. Why did I say white? Long one. It's a 16x4, and there's also these bigger ones. I forgot what this one is. I think it might be 14x8 or something like that. But I get these at Home Depot. And these are perfect to work your inks with. Okay. So, when we do our tutorials, let me put these where I'm not going to step on it or break it. When we do our tutorials, I'll tell you exactly what you need. And you'll base, what we're going to start with is tile. Tiles are great because you can use your alcohol inks on it. You don't like something, you clean it right off and it's like good as new. It's like those erasable pads. You know, a clean slate all the time, and you just keep practicing. That's how I did it, and that's how I practiced. You might want to get 3 or 4, you know, just in case you might like one that came out nice and you want to keep it. Okay, so that's what you would use for this. The next important thing is you need an air can. For these flowers, you need to use this air can. I have used this little squeezy thing, and I have used airbrushes. None of them give the thrust that this air, what would you call it? Revolutions? No, I don't know. But the energy, the thrust, the power that gives, and that is what gives the flowers and their petals their beautiful shape. Make sure you get an original good one. I bought this on Azon, and it might be on my list, but it's better to get a good quality one. This one is always playing around with me, but this is your go-to. My favorite brand is this. Okay, I've tried the one on Amazon. They have a brand, and it was a nightmare. So I'm just letting you know, they're not all created equal. Okay, so so far: the inks, the air can, the paper or the tile. Okay, let me bring you back so you guys can see my everything here. The inks, paper or the tiles. Okay, and this is all right. What else do you need? You'll probably need well, it doesn't have to be a spray, but I have a spray with alcohol, or you can have your alcohol in little bottles like this. They say that the fumes of the alcohol is not really good for your lungs, so it's best to, when you're cleaning or something, to be able to just pour it in. Now, it's important for you to work in an open space area, or you have an air purifier going on. I have an air purifier, and I also have an extractor. But open window, and when it's hot, that's kind of hard. But make sure they're circulating, maybe a fan circulating the air, because you will be using alcohol. This is 91%. They have 91, and they also have 99. Either one is fine. I use whatever is handy, and what I have right now is 91. So you'll need plenty of this, okay? That's the other thing you're going to need. All right. Let's see. These are optional, but I do use them a lot. So maybe not as optional. Okay, these are silicone tools. They're not normal brushes. They have silicone tips. See that? Focus right there. So I use these a lot when I'm trying to get my petals to look nice. I also use these for detail. This brush has seen better days, but thin brushes are what you're going to need, okay? And I don't know if it's last but not least, I won't say it, but an air, a blower, okay? I bought this Revlon one because for this kind of work, you don't want a blower that is too powerful, that might probably ruin your work because it pushes too much air. This is just enough air to dry or to move the alcohol just delicately. I believe I have this on my Amazon list. It's a Revlon, the ones that you curl like this, but it's one that has a very low revolution, so the air is, you don't have that much air force coming out when you're trying to dry something or move it. Okay, let's see. So I think I've touched about, oh yes. You're probably gonna want to get some coffee filters. Coffee filters are important. Why not paper towels? Because paper towels leave lint, okay? And these don't. And so, and they're great to clean your surface, your mistakes and things like that. Also, eventually when you want to seal your work, you'll want to make sure that you don't have lint on your tile or on your paper and stuff. Paper you probably would, if you're gonna put it on wood or something, then yes, you would use resin like you would use on tile. But if you're not, if you're just using them like this one that I did here, then you would just use Kramer spray, and you will know about those later on. But for now, for our first tutorial, I believe this is what you will need, okay? Because it's the first tutorial, it's just the practice one, and yeah. Now, there is a specific, when I told you about the inks, there is one specific ink that you will need, that's the one I use. I've already tried lots of them, and it's the best. And I don't see it here. I must have put it away. Oh, here it is. I use a lot of it, so I have it this big. It is the Pinata White Blanco Blanco. That is the best white, and that's the one we're going to use to do all kinds of effects. Now, in your first class, you won't need it, okay? But eventually you will. So keep that in mind. If you buy a set of pinatas, it will come in the set, all right? Okay, and now it's really last but not least. Let me show you. I have a lot of my inks in these little bottles. They may come like this, but I put them in here. Why? Because the gauge in a lot of these bottles are huge. I don't know if you could see that, but it's huge. So when I put the ink on to do the petal, it just gushes out, and there's just a complete mess. here I have more control of the drop, and that's why I like to put it in these. These are also in my Amazon list, but like I said, I'm going to make a separate list so you can see, you know, oh yeah, I have that, I don't have that, and you can pick out exactly what you need for the first tutorial. And they come like this. This is a set of like 50 that I get, and they come with their little squeezies and stuff. Now, personally, I like these because I can change the gauge of the needles. They come in different sizes. All sizes of these different little needles. But you're not, if you don't want to get into that, the other bottles are fine. But I love these because the drop that comes out is a lot smaller. So these are the things you will need for your first class. They're the basic essentials. Now, I am wanting to schedule, let's see, we're on the 30th, and I want to give you enough time to order things and be able to do this. I believe I think in 15 days would be a great time. That would be Thursday. I think Thursday would be an excellent time for us to have our first tutorial, August 14th. August 14th, yeah. August 14th, and I'm gonna have it at, I think 5 or 6 p.m. I will let you know. I want to be able to, for people that work, to be able to get in time for the tutorial. So I think the 14th at 5 p.m. would be a great time to do our first tutorial. It will be, it won't be that long, and I'll show you how to use all of these things that I've told you about. Remember that I'm going to have all this, all the things you need on my Amazon list, and it will say alcohol ink tutorial, and you can quickly click on it and it will tell you exactly what you're going to need. All right, and some of the stuff you may already have, so you don't need to buy it. All right, so thank you for following me until the end, and hopefully you get all your supplies, and we'll see each other on the 14th at 5 p.m. so we can have our very first tutorial here in Burn and Bloom. And that is what I know that some of you know me as D Creative, but I am branching Burn and Bloom off of D Creative, so because I am focusing a little bit more on my hats and also my flowers, the ones I do, and I think those two combined, those that Burn and Bloom just goes well. All right, I'll see you my next live. My next live will not be on, it'll be sooner than August 14th. I'm just saying that that'll be our tutorial. But I'm going to make it, I will announce when I go on live here on Facebook, so you guys are ready to see it if you want. Alrighty, have a great Wednesday. God bless you. Thank you for being here.